Hello followers, welcome to this video. Let's see all the most important features you need to know by starting Magix Vegas Pro 14. Please leave us feedback to improve our next video guides for Magix Vegas Pro in the future. Vegas Pro is one of the best video editing softwares. You can use it to create your custom videos such as channel intros, slideshows, slow motion videos, and professional effects. When you open it, the whole workspace opens divided into two main parts. The upper side welcomes several windows that collect the main features inside Vegas Pro. If you miss one, you can go to the View tab and then to Window to open the closed window. Below, you have the whole project timeline, and this is where you will work on your project and media files. Before starting with your project, you have to import all media files you need, such as audio, pictures, and videos. You can do so by simply dragging and dropping them from your computer directly on the timeline. You can also drag and drop files by browsing inside the Explorer window. All files imported inside the timeline are called clips and are all listed inside the Project Media window. Let's see the timeline in more detail. The timeline is divided into several video and audio tracks that represent each row you see. Video tracks welcome anything visible, so video frames, photos, as well as any text. Whereas audio tracks welcome all clips related to sound, music, speech, or recordings. You can add other tracks or delete any by right-clicking on the timeline. Furthermore, the clips inside your timeline are well recognizable. For example, pictures and video frames have big thumbnails that preview them time by time, and audio and recorded clips are shown with their own sound waveform. If you see two waveforms, this will simply represent both the stereo channels. While you work on a project, it is important to check what it looks like. In the top right corner, you have a window called Video Preview. You can use its player below to play back all your timeline content. Use the Enter key to quickly start and stop the player. In particular, the preview shows your project exactly on the frame where the main playhead is placed on the timeline. Click right above the timeline to fix the playhead where you like, in order to preview the project on that point. You can also click and drag the gray marker to move the playhead in time, forwards and backwards. Sound will also be played in this way. Remember to use your mouse wheel to zoom in and out of the timeline around your playhead if you need to. Also, check the preview quality settings on top. In fact, the higher the quality you choose, the slower the preview may be. So set up the right quality depending on your computer specs. Also, use the second button from the left to check your project in full screen mode. While working on your project, you may need to check a specific part more carefully, for example by putting it in a continuous loop. To play back in loop, enable the Loop Playback button and then hover over the upper side of the timeline. If you click and hold while you drag, you will create a blue region called a loop region. This selects just a part of your timeline, so that if you play back all, only the selected part will play. This loop region is very important, since it is used whenever you need to select just a part of your overall project. You can indeed use it also to preview your project, since when you stretch the region, also the playhead moves along with what shows the preview. However, no sound is played in this case. Let's see the basics on how to edit your clips imported. Basically, you always use the normal edit tool below to do so. To move a clip in time, simply click and drag it through the track that contains it, or another track. You can also move multiple clips at the same time by selecting more of them first and then moving. You can select multiple clips by holding Control down and clicking on each clip. If you have to select lots of clips, you can use the Selection Edit tool and click and drag to create a selection area that selects all clips that touch the area. To undo all selections, just click once on a vacant space in the timeline. In case more clips overlap in time, these are shown by following the tracks order. In fact, the clips that are inside an upper track are always shown above clips that are contained inside a lower track. Consider that if you move any video clip, you will move both video frames and recorded audio. To make them independent, press the U key on your keyboard. So, if you move either frames or audio, these will become red, indicating that these two clips are no longer synchronized. To split a selected clip in two, just fix the main playhead and press the S key from your keyboard. To cut, copy, paste, or delete a clip, just right-click on it. You can quickly delete a selected clip by cutting it with Ctrl and X. Consider that the cut always affects the whole clip as it is. If you want to cut just a part of the clip, you have to create first a loop region on it and then cut it. Remember that if you make a mistake with anything, you can use Ctrl and Z to undo, or use the undo and redo buttons above to manage your actions in a chronological order. While working with your project, you will need to adapt the clip length as you need most. You can do it in two main ways. If you approach the clip edges and click and drag, you will stretch or shorten it in time. You can do this without problems with the pictures, but for the clips that have a fixed time durations, like videos and audio clips, it's not the same. If you shorten these, you will cut a part of their content, whereas if you stretch them too much, you will put these in loop, so you may prefer another way. A second way to regulate the clip length is to time stretch. If you approach the clip's edges and hold Control down, the pointer changes, indicating a time stretch. In this way, if you shorten audio or video clips, these will be played faster, shortening them without cutting any content. If you stretch these instead, these will be played slower, without applying any loop. Also, remember that you can use either the slide or the slip tool to apply a shift on the clip content. Let's see a general overview on the advanced editing features inside Vegas Pro. You can quickly adjust opacity and volume levels on each of your clips directly from your timeline. On picture and video clips, you can pull down the opacity envelope line from the upper edge in order to add as much transparency as you like. Hold Control down while moving the line to fix the percentage carefully. You can do the same on audio clips by pulling the volume envelope line as you like. Also, you can apply professional effects on videos, pictures, and audio by using the event effects icon on them, or by using the video effects window more above. This collects all the available effects inside Vegas that you can simply drag and drop on your clips to apply them. You can also add amazing transitions, which are special effects used to make a clip appear or disappear. You can fast add transition fades on clips by clicking and dragging the upper corners on the internal side. This will create a transparency fade on pictures and videos, and a volume fade on audio clips, as long in time as they are on the timeline. Plus, you can drag and drop on these fades special transitions from the transitions window above making the fade even cooler. You can also apply transitions between the two clips to pass from one clip to another with the special effects. With the automatic crossfades option enabled below, just approach two clips enough and a transition fade is created. Then, you can drop another transition if you like it better. Even more, inside video and picture clips, you can use the event pan and crop to crop the clip in order to show just what you are most interested in. Check out our full guide and see and learn everything you can do inside Vegas Pro. Also, the track settings on the extreme left are important to manage and edit the timeline content. For example, on both video and audio tracks, you can use track effects to apply the effects on the whole track content in the same way, without adding the same effect to each single clip. Also, you can use mute and solo to decide which are the tracks to check inside your timeline. Click on M, which is mute, to disable the interested track. This means making the video track content completely transparent, or the audio track content completely mute. Use S, or solo, instead to disable all other tracks rather than the interested one. Below the main options of the track, you have one or two bars, depending on the kind of track. Inside the video tracks, you have the level bar, used to set the opacity level on all the clips inside such track. Inside audio tracks, you can use the volume bar to adjust the volume of all its clips, or the pan bar to balance the stereo channels. Very important is also the track motion inside the video tracks. This is used to change the track content appearance completely. For example, you can click and drag the central rectangle to move the track content in position, or drag the rectangle corners to size the track content itself. Check out our related video to know how to apply track motion on clips. Once your project is ready, you can save it by going to File and then to Save As. This saves your project in a .veg format, keeping track of anything you have inside the timeline, including effects and settings. To obtain the final video to play and upload instead, you need to render it first. So, set the render properties by clicking on Project Video Properties above the preview, checking aspect ratio, frame rate, and advanced audio settings if you need. Check out our next video to know how to apply the best render settings to upload in YouTube. If everything is okay, go to File and then to Render As. A dialog box opens showing the full list of file formats you can choose and, inside, several ready-made templates. Choose one and click on Render below. By default, the project will be rendered from the beginning of the timeline to the end of the last clip in time. If you want to render just a piece of your project, just select the part you want to render by including it inside a loop region, and then, on the rendering dialog box, tick on Render Loop Region Only. Thanks for watching this video. Check out our full guide to get professional with Magic's Vegas Pro 14.